The horrible comments of Andy Gray, now he regrets. Horrible sexism, that's what ended Andy Gray's career overnight. The man who had revolutionised football broadcasting was sacked from Sky Sports in January 2011 after making shocking comments about female officials. "Women don't know the offside rule," he said about assistant referee Sian Massey. Days later, footage emerged of him asking colleague Charlotte Jackson to tuck a microphone pack into his trousers during rehearsals. But how did a man this decorated end up in disgrace? Andy Gray's story begins in Scotland, where he started his professional journey at Dundee United in 1973. At just 19, his prolific goal scoring saw him net 46 goals in 62 appearances, including participation in the 1974 Scottish Cup final. His impressive form earned him a transfer to newly promoted Aston Villa in 1975 for £110,000. The 1976-77 season was particularly outstanding for Gray. He became the joint winner of England's Golden Boot with 29 goals. More remarkably, he became the first player to win both the PFA Young Player of the Year and PFA Players Player of the Year awards in the same season. This feat was exceptionally rare, matched only years later by Cristiano Ronaldo and Gareth Bale. In September 1979, Gray made a then English record transfer to Wolverhampton Wanderers for £1.5 million. His career continued with moves to Everton in November 1983 for £250,000, then back to Aston Villa in 1985, followed by spells at West Bromwich Albion and Rangers. Gray's playing career was adorned with numerous trophies across multiple clubs. At Aston Villa, he secured the League Cup in 1977. With Wolverhampton Wanderers, Gray won the League Cup in 1980, scoring the decisive goal in the final. His tenure at Everton was trophy-laden, including the FA Cup in 1984, where he scored in the final, the League Championship in 1985, and the European Cup Winners' Cup in 1985, also scoring in that final. He concluded his senior club career at Rangers from 1988 to 1989, where he contributed to their Scottish Premier Division title win. Gray earned 20 caps for Scotland, scoring 7 goals for his national team. Despite his remarkable individual accolades in England, he was notably not selected for Scotland's 1978 World Cup squad. This omission, despite being the PFA Player of the Year, suggests that individual domestic performance does not always guarantee international recognition. Gray's early engagement with media began during his playing days. He appeared as a pundit for ITV's 1978 World Cup coverage and regularly for the BBC in the mid-1980s. This early experience allowed him to develop skills and build connections that would later define his post-playing career. After retiring as a player in 1990, Gray briefly served as an assistant manager at Aston Villa. However, his focus quickly shifted to television work. He joined British satellite broadcasting before moving to Sky Sports at its launch in 1991, balancing his TV commitments with his assistant manager role during the 1991-92 season, before fully dedicating himself to broadcasting. Gray became the lead football pundit and co-commentator for Sky Sports from the inception of Premier League coverage in August 1992, often working alongside Richard Keys and Martin Tyler. The duo of Keys and Gray quickly rose to prominence, becoming widely regarded as the imperious demigods of the nation's live football coverage. Their dynamic was distinct. Keys, as the anchor, maintained a convivial atmosphere with Gray and studio guests, while Gray himself provided brash, forthright opinions and insightful analysis. This partnership proved immensely popular, described as a fan favourite, and they were arguably as famous as the footballers they commentated on. Keys and Gray established a dominant presence, effectively reigning over the Sky Sports studio as lords of their own personal fiefdom. They were instrumental in shaping football into the televised entertainment format recognised today, pioneering approaches to flagship programmes like Super Sunday and Monday Night Football. Gray was particularly noted for embracing technology to revolutionise viewer experience, introducing concepts like Andy Gray's Boot Room and pioneering virtual reality and Replay 2000. His distinctive voice and persona were so iconic that they were emulated in the popular EA Sports FIFA football games, from FIFA Road to World Cup 98 to FIFA 11. Sky Sports strategically leveraged the strong personalities of Keys and Gray by fostering their indispensable image and combining it with pioneering technological advancements, Sky created a unique viewing experience that differentiated its coverage. This deliberate strategy built brand loyalty around its star presenters, effectively making them synonymous with Premier League football. However, this unchecked power and inflated ego, cultivated over 2 decades at the top, likely contributed to a workplace culture where inappropriate banter was not only tolerated, but perhaps even perceived as an integral part of their on-screen persona. The year 2011 marked a profound turning point in Andy Gray's career. On Saturday, January 22, 2011, Gray and his co-host, Richard Keys, were recorded off-air discussing female assistant referee Sian Massey before a Premier League match between Wolves and Liverpool. They expressed doubts about her competence, predicting she would make a mistake and asserting that female officials don't know the offside rule. Ironically, Massey went on to make a crucial and correct offside call during the game. The following Monday, January 24th, further footage emerged showing Gray in conversation with Sky Sports reporter Andy Burton about Massey. Burton described her as a bit of a looker, to which Gray responded with an expletive and reiterated, "What do women know about the offside rule?" The situation escalated significantly on Tuesday, January 25th, when new footage surfaced. This video, which ultimately led to Gray's sacking, depicted him making an inappropriate request to female colleague Charlotte Jackson during rehearsals for a Sky Sports Christmas special. Gray was shown lifting his belt and asking Jackson, "Charlotte, can you tuck this down here for me?" while she was attaching a microphone pack. A critical aspect of these events is that all problematic comments were made off-air. The fact that these private conversations, believed to be unrecorded or unheard by the public, led to such severe professional consequences underscores a fundamental shift in public and corporate expectations for figures in the public eye. The comments drew widespread condemnation from media commentators, anti-discrimination groups, football fans, and the Football Association. Prominent figures, including England captain Rio Ferdinand, described their views as prehistoric. West Ham Vice Chairman Karen Brady publicly stated the comments made her blood boil. The Sky Sports case brought to the forefront the critical question of when office banter crosses the line and becomes bullying. While some initially dismissed the exchange as tongue-in-cheek banter, the prevailing sentiment quickly shifted. An informal assessment suggested a significant generational divide in reactions, with men under 45 unlikely to make such comments, and those under 30 reportedly truly appalled. Following his dramatic dismissal from Sky Sports, Andy Gray embarked on a new phase of his broadcasting career, primarily outside the immediate glare of the UK mainstream media. Shortly after their departure from Sky Sports, Andy Gray and Richard Keys signed with Talk Sport Radio in February 2011. Their show achieved significant recognition, with Keys and Gray receiving the Best Sports Programme prize at the Sony Radio Academy Awards in 2012. A significant career move came in June 2013 when Al Jazeera, which later became beIN Sports, secured a contract with Keys and Gray. This marked a strategic geographic pivot as they became the main presenters of Premier League and UEFA Champions League match broadcasts for the Middle East and North Africa region, based in Doha, Qatar. On January 25, 2014, precisely 3 years after his dismissal from Sky, Gray made a brief return to British television commentary for BT Sport, covering an FA Cup match. However, this return was met with considerable public backlash and condemnation, particularly after new footage of extreme sexism from his Sky days resurfaced. BT Sport was widely condemned for bringing him back. Gray has publicly expressed the profound personal impact of the scandal, revealing he even considered taking his own life. Richard Keys, in a moment of reflection, acknowledged that prehistoric banter isn't acceptable in the modern world, saying, "I accept that. We failed to change when the world has changed." Despite the personal and professional fallout, Keys and Gray exerted a formative influence on Sky Sports television coverage, which still serves as the medium through which millions of supporters watch football. Their pioneering approach to Super Sunday and Monday Night Football shaped many enduring platitudes and cliches that persist in the game's televised presentation. Andy Gray's career trajectory is a remarkable study in the peaks and valleys of public life, encompassing a celebrated playing career and a transformative, yet ultimately controversial role in sports broadcasting. While the scandal irrevocably altered his career path within the UK, Gray has since demonstrated a capacity for professional resilience, re-establishing his broadcasting career internationally. His story highlights both the immense influence individuals can wield in shaping an industry and the profound, lasting repercussions of ethical lapses in the public eye.